Alright guys, today I'm working on the 2011 Chevy Traverse. I think they're all 3.6 liter V6s. So you have the L, the LT, the LS, I think is with the three different models. Basically means suck harder, and even worse. I don't know. But anyways, that's just my opinion. Today we're actually going to be going over a couple of things with this car. The first thing is that we had several problems with this car. It stopped working completely, and we couldn't read any codes. So the two different mechanics, including what we could tell, actually said the ECU, basically the computer of the car, needed to be replaced. So this is the old one, and those things just mount right there in the front. Really easy. Just pull this guy and the one below it, and it pops. Pull little tabs right there, pop it out, and replace it. Obviously, make sure the key's out. And a lot of people say disconnect the battery, but the terminal is completely disconnected as long as the key's out of the ignition, so you're safe. So we got a new ECU, new computer for the car, and all of a sudden we started getting all these codes. Now, what was so weird about this is that we get a code for something with the fuel. A fuel problem of some sort, whether it's the fuel pump or something. We get the cam position sensors. I mean, all the 4 different position sensors on this car bad. It says, then it turns around and says, after we replace those, then it gives us a code for throttle body here, and it actually just said this part here on the side here, the computer, the sensor was bad, but they don't sell it separately unless you get a refurbished one. So I just went ahead and bought the whole dang thing, considering the fact that it was pretty much the same price for the whole unit. So went ahead and replaced that guy. Boom, that code went away. And this is the weirdest thing I've ever, I mean, if anybody has any idea, if I ever run into something like this, please let me know, because I feel like it would have been like a fuse problem, why all these things were saying they were bad. But we checked all the fuses on the outside over there. We checked all the fuses on the inside. Nothing is bad. And so just absolutely confused of what is going on. So anyways, now we're going to be changing. Let's see what it says. Oh, it just turned the power off on me. Turn it back on for you guys. Let's see here. So it says there's 5 codes left, and the one that we're changing right now, I mean, this is just insane, but is the fuel rail pressure sensor high input. Basically all of the thing that sensor does, it's a little sensor that's actually underneath this whole block right here. And to remove this guy, there's 6 of these long puppies that are, I believe, 13 millimeter. And you didn't have to actually remove the throttle body. I just did that because I'm going to be hitting on this, knock it loose from its mount. So I just didn't want to hit this, and these are 4 10 millimeter bolts holding that on. So my next step basically is to pull this off and change the sensor, fuel rail position sensor. And that basically, all that sucker does is tells when you're giving your car a little bit of gas, a little bit of throttle, it tells the your power steering, your pump, your fuel pump, to pump more fuel to the injectors. So, or push more in there. When you're idling, it tells it to idle down. It doesn't call for that much fuel, so we can go ahead and not work so hard. So that's basically what that thing does. According to every form I've read online, basically that will prevent the car from starting. This is exactly what we're having. We actually had to tow the car here, and this car has actually been worked on since October, and it's now, it's April. Wish it was April 1st, actually, because then it'd be like a good April Fool's joke. Like, just joking, we're going to work now. But no, the car's not working. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and remove this upper thing. Actually, I might do this in the morning. I'm not really sure. I'll show you guys how I got this thing loose. My little kid is running away. Emmerich, come here, buddy. Emmerich, come here. Come help me fix the car. All right, so we're back. I had to take care of my little kid there, and I ended up not going to bed. I just smashed my finger, so that was great. Smash your finger is always great. So anyways, I got this thing loose. You can see it is loose. That sucker is off like a prom dress. Well, almost. Got the garter belt to go through, but I gotta get all these guys off of here. This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Basically how I got this thing actually loose in the first place is I took that little crevice right. Anyways guys, I took this pry bar right here to get this thing off of here. I just got it loose. It's not a pry bar, it's the end of my my 3-ton jack. I took the handle and I took this here sledgehammer and I basically beat it just like that and hit it down like that until that thing finally popped loose. So it's the next day. Obviously it's not dark out. Got my mechanic here, Silas. He's gonna be walking us through how to take out this part. Where is the part? What did I do? I did it somewhere. Part that I already lost, so you know, we'll just pretend that we're changing the part. Did you take off on the side? Where's the part? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, this is the sensor that tells the fuel pump to put more to the line or less if you're idling versus giving it gas. So, it's a really stupid part. And it takes a 27mm socket, which is insane because this is the same socket that you use to remove hub bearing assemblies off of a half-ton truck to remove this little part. And you do have to actually have a deep wall 27mm socket. If you don't, if you use the well, first of all, if you use a shorty, it won't reach. Secondly, if you use a high impact, one of the black matte sockets, it will be too thick and will not reach down in the hole. So you got to make sure you have one of these pretty silvery chrome looking guys, like my technical words. If you guys hear a bunch of noise in the background, that's just my 8 kids. None of them are mine, they're all adopted. But so basically what I'm going to start doing here, this is kind of turning into a gigantic mess. Like I said before, you don't have to actually remove the throttle body, but I did just because I was going to be beating the crap out of this top housing right here, and I didn't want to ruin the throttle body, which would probably get dirt in every orifice that I'm not supposed to. So basically, I just took these lines that I showed you guys last night, I moved them up over here, I zip tied this one over here. I'm pulling things apart that I don't really understand what I'm pulling apart, so I really wish this guy, I should wrench this guy off of here. Because I think that should come off because I can't really move it much. Plus, and I'm gonna have to pull these two as well. So I had to pull these 3 things out of the way. I actually pulled this guy right out of the top of here, pulled it off. So we just got to basically remove this tube here, this vacuum tube, and then these two set in this sensor right here, which is kind of a double setup right here. So pull those 2 things off. So I'll be right back. As soon as I get this off, I'll show you guys what that looks like. This pulled apart finally. I pulled off this cable, this cable. I took this really small wrench that I'm really good at misplacing tools. That's one thing you'll learn about me really quickly. I literally took this small wrench to take this little, let me pull this out here. This tube right here, it's made of, feels like plastic going into a metal insert. Just pulled that guy out. Everything looks disconnected. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can't actually pull this thing out of here and see what else is connected to it. Oh, that's not good. So we're gonna need a new one of those. So see this seal right here is made of stupid ass plastic and completely just broke apart. So that's super cool. So anyways, we're gonna set this guy on the side here. That should be pretty cheap though. Should be able to buy that anywhere. I mean, not anywhere, not Walmart or something, but we'll have to free all this up. From there, just go ahead and take those and disregard them. This looks like part of the motor down here. This is actually a foam insert. Just gonna go ahead and pull that out. And holy moly, I think I finally found what we're looking for. There's a ladybug. It's been down there for at least, I don't know, since 2011, I think. Don't know how he got down there. I really don't want him to fall into there. Jeez. Okay. Pull this foam insert completely out. We'll set that on the side. And there is our part right there. And there is your fuel rail. Right there, here, and on this side right there. So, that's fun. All of that work for that one dumb, stupid little part. We'll go ahead and pull this guy. I like how they make the sensors where you can't ever access them really well. Like you can't like really get in there. All right, guys, I went ahead and cleaned that up with a shop vac. And just because there's a lot of stuff getting into those holes, there's all kinds of stuff. As sealed as that was, I don't know how stuff even got into there. But anyways, there's our guy right there. I got to pull this thing out, which is going to be kind of a nightmare. 27 millimeter socket. I can't really even see what pull tab that is, which is really frustrating. I don't know why they don't make them all the same. I get that each part goes out to the lowest bidder basically, so that's why we get all these different parts, but they should just make the pull tabs all the exact same and then make, you know, engineer them that way, send them out to the manufacturer and then have them bid against it and they have to follow a certain design or something. But anyways, that's just me bitching. So we got, let's see here, this whole guy here, get out of this shadow here, but that basically broke off the bottom of that, which just mounts basically to right here. So we got to clean that up, get a new one of those, probably down at Napa or somewhere, and go from there. So we will be back. This is the part we just removed. That's the fuel rail position sensor. Basically just detects pressure on the bottom half end there, and the sensor is obviously right there on the top. Pulled that sucker out, so we're going to go ahead and install the new one. Here's the new one, looks exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down in there, and it goes just right here. In fact, I'll just go ahead and hand thread that on first until you feel it get tight. And this did not come with a torque specification, so I'm just gonna do it snug. I'm not gonna get crazy with that. All right, all of that work for just that one stupid little piece. And now we can actually put this guy back on, and then we can go ahead and put the rubber foam, whatever this thing is, back into place too. I'll go ahead and cut this guy open. We'll put this back on there really quick. I remember which way this thing laid. Oh, it goes up obviously because it has two insets right there in this housing. So obviously, boom, just like that. But if this thing laid, let me see here, it goes this way. So that means I need to lay this on there this way. Yep. Get this foam out of the way. You can't really mess this up too much because it's not going to sit into place unless you get it exactly where it needs to be. And we're going to go ahead and drop these. I think there's 6 of these guys. I got so many tools lying around here. I'm actually going to go try to find some anti-seize to put on these, and before I drop them in there. And so I'll be right back. Obviously it's sitting in place, doesn't move, it's just a little bit loose because it needs these guys sucked down. So we're going to go ahead and drop these guys into place, which takes a 13mm socket. So I'm just going to kind of get those guys in place. Make sure they're threading okay. You always want to hand thread stuff at first so you don't cross thread anything. If it doesn't go down right away, then you got a problem. Alright, we're going to go ahead and throw this in. My impact wrench. This impact wrench is the new Metabo HPT, which stands for Hitachi Power Tools. They're definitely not sponsoring this video, but I gotta say, this is I'm a home builder, and this is probably one of my favorite tools or favorite brands. They used to be Hitachi, but they merged Hitachi Power Tools with Metabo, which was a German brand, and then merged them together. And since Hitachi's still a company, they couldn't take the Hitachi name, so they just went ahead and went with Metabo HPT, which again stands for the Hitachi Power Tools. But these guys are like the most durable, powerful. There's an IP56 rating on this brushless motor, or on this impact driver. That's basically a water resistant. So these things are insane. There's some YouTube videos out there that show these guys getting run over, thrown in the dirt, poured underwater, running underwater. I mean, just insane. But these things have a massive amount of torque. You got all these different types of levels of power you can click through to your first level, second level, and then one of them actually detects the amount of torque resistance coming back to you, so it'll actually auto adjust, so it's just not screaming through stuff. It gives you exactly what you need based on the resistance, which is pretty cool. But it's always an easy way to do these things, and I'm not gonna really get these back ones probably. No. Oh yeah. Okay, well, we'll just use our we will use a torque wrench. Might see if I can hand tighten these. No, not happening. Let's get this on a smaller wrench really quick. So I get down there a little bit. Half my tools went missing when we were working on this last time, and I don't know where they went. I'm not sure if some of the kids grabbed them. I'm not sure if I misplaced them. This is one that my dad, this whole wrench had, my dad's dad had. I think it's back in the 70s. Still works. The sun came out, it's nice. Jeez. Let's go. There we go. This one's not going to set down. Boy, power tools sure do come in handy. I'm going to buy the new Makita torque wrench because it allows you to actually spin these down into place until they get snug. Then you can manually torque them. That thing is nice. It's also like, I think for the set, it's like $3,000 though. All right, go ahead and put these back on the torque wrench. Since these are on the torque or on the manifold head here, I want to actually put these down a little bit tighter. If I can get a shit, I might not be able to. Might just have to do this the old-fashioned way, which is fine. So we're just gonna go through them again and just make sure they're all snug. This way I'm gonna go crisscross over this guy, across the way to this one. And adjacent to this one. Okay. That guy is on there now. Now we can go ahead and start putting all this back together. Got screaming kids in the background. That's your guys' background music for the video. Brought to you by Screaming Kids. Trying to undo these straps now. Where did this guy go? It's always the fun thing I always love when you're putting together an old motor back together, and you always end up with more parts. You start it off, there we go. So this guy right here threads right into here. And so for that guy, I actually had a little socket, or an old crescent wrench, or a little crescent wrench right here. Get that. I have a funny feeling this is going to be a nightmare. I'll have to fast forward this part for you guys. It's going. This is super fun. I used to have a ratcheting one of these. I don't know where it went. I'm sure I still have it. I just don't want to go look for it because by the time I find it, I'll have already been done with this for 10 minutes. That's how that works. You buy all these fancy tools and you can't find them when you need them. Pull these back actually again a little bit. Okay. And then if you want, come around to this side over here and we'll throw this part back together here so you can see a little bit better. Just gotta hook all these guys back up. simple. Now we're gonna go ahead and do this guy, but we need, use the 10 millimeter for the throttle body. Got to make sure to put your thing in there. Where is the 10 millimeter though? Here, 1 second. I'll grab a wrench. Here we go. Grab a little one. This guy will be sufficient. Go ahead and slide that guy in there so it holds on there. Kind of like a ring shank nail. Oh, here comes our mail lady. 5 hours too late.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and get these guys on there. I'm actually going to throw this on. Hold on, I'm going to grab a... Make this go a little quicker. If I can even see the other one, there it is. And then we'll snug them up with the actual wrench. And go to find that one I can't ever see. I'm gonna get a deep wall socket. Trying to keep my tools put away at the same time I'm doing this, so I'm not. I'll use this guy here. Oh wait, that's a 13, isn't it? Do I even have a 10 deep wall? I think that's the one that I lost. This is a 10, I think. Boy.
I know where one is. Well, I know where a 10 millimeter is, and you can add a...
Pause it or... That little guy's hard to see. I think I might need to actually put a little more gas in here. I think we only threw 5 gallons in here with that new pump. I really wish I should have put 10 in there, but... Alright guys, we made a big mistake. We forgot to put this back in there. Probably an essential thing, that foam piece that covers that. I think it's kind of more like a heat shield. So we're going to go ahead and slide that in there. I didn't pull everything back apart, but just showing you guys that everybody makes mistakes. So that's fun. If I can do this without pulling everything apart, that'd be great. piece there. All right, and that's why that thing was wiggling around a little bit, I think. Oh, as my camera guy is pointing out, I just about put this thing back on without the damn gasket. I'd have been really pissed then. Okay, just making sure this is facing the right way. This has been one hell of a fun time. Okay. Okay. Now she should sit on her own pretty like. There. Line that up. And we'll find out really quickly when we drop these guys back down in there. Spray a little. It's not technically the right stuff. But I just want to prevent these guys from seizing up. You know you got it lined up though too if you got it. If they go through and they thread, so. Yep, there you go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and skip to where we were a few minutes ago. All right, guys. As you've seen, I screwed up. I put this whole thing back together and then forgot to put that foam insert back in, which we did. So now we're back to where we were. Basically, last step we have is putting the air intake back onto into the whatchamajigget, the throttle body. So make sure I'm doing this the right way. Here. No, this goes this way. Oh. I'll figure it out. Trust me, if I can do this, you guys can do this. I'm not bolting everything in case I have to take everything apart again. We do got to get a new one of these, which is just a little pressure thing, which actually doesn't have nothing to do with the car starting or not. I already researched the crap out of it, but it broke off. It was actually already broke, but so we're gonna have to get a new piece, one of those guys, and put that on there. So yeah, that should be about it. We're gonna go ahead and pick up these tools and then see if this thing will start. So I'll let you guys know in a minute. So just want to give you guys an update on the 2011 Chevy Traverse. I didn't finish the video because I got a little bit frustrated at the vehicle, but we went to start it and it was dead. So we had to jump start the vehicle so many times. I think the battery's just fried and it's a new battery. So we jump started the battery. The vehicle did not start. But at least you guys know how to replace that part now and where it's located. So you guys can do that, and we'll probably do a continued video once we actually figure out what is actually wrong with the vehicle.